Okay, guys, I'm very fortunate to be spending time with one of our favourite raw vets, Geoff, Geoff Johnson. Geoff, please take a moment to introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Geoff. I've been a vet for 32 years. I've been feeding raw for 25 years. I've been practicing homeopathy for about 22 years. And I'm delighted to be up here talking to Rowan.
Oh, awesome. So, Geoff, whereabouts are you based? Where's your practice?
West Somerset.
Oh, nice. Oh, I love West Somerset.
You would. Exmoor.
Oh, all good fun. I was going to ask you if you're an advocate of raw feeding, but you've kind of answered that. Can I ask you why you chose raw feeding?
I'll tell you why I didn't to start with, because somebody told me I should feed my dog raw chicken wings, and obviously as a vet, and I knew that was terribly bad for them, would puncture their guts and probably kill them. But I was persuaded in the end by my colleague to do that, because he explained actually all dogs throughout history for 8 million years, whatever it has been, have been eating raw bones. So I started with my own dogs, and my goodness me, they didn't die, and their sort of poos became a bit firmer. And then I started doing it with trusted clients, and in the end I had 4 freezers out the back of my surgery, turning out about a ton of chicken wings a month and a ton of ready prepared bone, organs and meat. And there was only 2 firms in those days that used to make the raw dog food.
Wow, so you're right in the avant-garde.
I was right at the beginning, yes.
And just let's remind everybody, how long ago was this?
I think it was probably 25 years ago would be my guess.
So
I can't remember exactly.
So when people say that it's a bit of a fad and it's going to go away and there's no evidence that it actually benefits the dog, we've got a quarter of a century of clinical experience here.
Well, maybe clinical experience isn't a clinical trial, but it became clear so quickly that you'd put a dog onto what they now call a species-specific diet, which, let's face it, makes sense because it's evolved for 8 million years to survive on that. And before it was a dog, before it was a pre-dog evolutionary, that's what they evolved to eat. So it's not like some hippie thing saying, oh, give them something natural. Give them something natural because their whole bodies have evolved to deal with that for millions and millions and millions of years. And then you give them something totally unnatural and they get ill. And so I've been doing it for a very, very long time. And the reason I kept doing it is people consistently came back and said their dog was brighter. And the coat is probably the thing you see changing the first, though maybe if I lived with a dog I might see its character change first, I don't know. But they come back and they look brighter. They're sort of more alive. It would probably be like if I stopped eating peanuts and drinking beer and in fact ate loads of healthy food, which I wish I did, because then I would maybe feel more alive as well.
Well, you look fairly alive.
Do I?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Here's to that.
Here's to that, yeah.
Brilliant. Is there anything specific you can remember which actually encouraged you to become a vet?
Yes, at the age of 4, I wanted to know about insides. And I had a pet guinea pig, and when it died I asked my mum if we could dig it up after a week and look at it. She said no, but I was always, insides interested me. And I loved animals, and I wasn't allowed them when I was a child. So, you know, that probably heightened the suppression of not having the animal, made me love the animal more when it finally arrived.
Awesome. Okay, are there any specific chronic diseases that you've seen rise in the last 10 years?
No, there isn't actually. My practice is pretty referral now, so I've not been in general practice for 15 years. I've been referral alternative medicine practice, and my impressions would probably not have a lot of validity there, so I haven't seen any, no.
Well, I suppose also being an advocate of raw feeding, you're hopefully preventing a lot of them.
I certainly hope I am. I mean, any dog with an anal gland problem, any dog developing calculus tartar on its mouth, I will immediately obviously suggest raw diet. Any dog with a gut problem.
Yeah.
And I do something, I switch them over straight away. I don't gradually introduce it. I'd be interested to know what your other vets you talk to do that, but I've had very little problem from switching a dog 8 years old that's been on kibble, maybe it's all its life, and then the next day we put it onto raw, and very rarely do I have a problem. I have had a few dogs, interestingly enough, maybe 3 or 4, which couldn't cope with raw food.
Interesting.
It's very, very interesting. I mean, how deeply ill must they be if they couldn't eat raw food? But they've had to go back onto cooked, and usually the owner there has got the raw food and then cooked it and given it to them, but it's very, very rare.
So that's 3 or 4 dogs out of approximately how many?
Thousands.
Right, okay, fabulous. Quick question for you. What is your opinion of titer testing?
I just don't know why every single vet doesn't have titer testing in their surgeries, because I'm not anti-vaccination, don't particularly want to get into that. I'm against over-vaccination very, very, very much. And you've got 2 options. You could titer test and see whether it needs vaccination, or you could give the vaccination, which undoubtedly, however good it may be, will also have potential side effects. So why on earth, if it's unneeded, would we give a vaccination rather than doing a titer test? It's beyond me why every vet doesn't do it.
I couldn't agree more.
Oh, good. So that wasn't a trick question.
Not at all. Fabulous. Okay, Geoff, I think we're done. So
Cool.
Thank you so much.